Here we go. Okay, now I can see myself. But as far as boutique labels, I have a ton of like Criterion movies. Um, like I have like 109 titles on Criterion. Here's just a few here. I've got Crumb. It's a Terry Zwigoff movie. It's a This is a documentary about Robert Crumb. I love this one, but also I have Carnival of Souls here. The It's a great kind of horror movie from the early '60s. Of course, I've got Bull Durham. That's really common title about baseball with Kevin Costner. Love that one, but I was really surprised to see just going through my collection to see how many like Arrow videos I have and Scream Factory, Shout Factory movies. Um, these are some Shout Factory movies at Crime Wave. If you know uh, Sam Raimi, this is like his I think this was his debut movie. And it has the Coen brothers actually wrote the script, co-wrote the script with them. I think he let's see, I think he may have done actually. I think he did Evil Dead before this, but he had the Coen brothers do the screenplay for this, so that was really cool. I also have UHF, you know, Weird Al. So those are the only two Shout Factory movies I have, but I also have quite a few Scream Factory movies as well. Shout Factory, Scream Factory are the same company, but like They Live. This is on DVD. Actually, I'm not sure when this was released originally. If the Blu-ray was available at the time, I assume they probably both were released at the same time. But as far as picture quality on this, even on DVD, I think this looks really good. I was really surprised because I've been upgrading a lot of my DVDs recently, so I was really surprised at how good the picture quality was, and I'm not sure how soon I'll be looking to upgrade this, but that was really cool. I have The Fog. This is really great. I have. Have you ever seen Phantom of the Paradise from Brian De Palma? It's a really weird movie from like 1974, one of his really early ones. I have a Misery, Rob Reiner movie with Stephen King story. I found this one used. It was like $5 at the exchange. So this is a like I said, this is the Screen Factory version. I have a Manhunter. If anybody's ever seen like the Silence of the Lambs? This is like the movie that preceded that from Michael Mann. It's this is basically shows Hannibal Lecter. He's played by Brian Cox in this movie. This is from 1986, and then Silence of the Lambs was in 1991. I have King Kong, the 1976 King Kong. This is it's Jeff Bridges plays. It's one of the characters with Jessica Lange. I think it's like a man in an ape suit. Basically, it's the I forgot the guy that did the effects artist that did this, but he was in the ape suit. I have to think of his name, but I also have Army of Darkness, the 4K with Blu-ray. Really excited about this. I think it has like 3 different versions on there. Hey, how's it going, Hall Notes? Let me show you. Yeah, glad you can join me tonight, Abra, for Red Dragon. I do too, actually. Yeah, I thought Michael Mann really didn't want to make a horror movie. I think it's based on the times, 1986. Manhunter. I like Manhunter a lot. Yeah, but yeah, I thought Red Dragon was a better. It's more like the book. Michael Mann decided not to call this Red Dragon. So it's to me it's very '80s. It's very much like the Miami Vice era that Michael Mann uh, did at the time. So I thought Hannibal Lecter was really underused in this movie. Yeah, at one point where you could tell that he and the FBI agent both had a history, and the FBI agent was really afraid when basically Lecter finds out where the agent lives, and the agent has to get his family out of there because even though Hannibal Lecter is locked up, he's afraid at the time. And nothing happened there. I thought he was really underused, and Brian Cox was good in the role. It just Anthony Hopkins is way better, but there are some people that actually prefer this movie to because it's not a horror movie. Silence of the Lambs. Some people argue with whether that's a horror movie or not, but let's see. Yeah, I consider Silence of the Lambs to be kind of like a horror movie in some ways, but yeah, I like this movie too. This is like I said, this is a Scream Factory version. I found this is like half price books, and I really had to pay a lot on it. I did have a store credit on it, but I was really it was like there one week, and then I went back like the following weekend, and they still had it because they had it really overpriced. But it was really cool that they still had it, and then I got it for a good price, based on the store credit that I had. So, but that one I also have the original Creep Show. Love that one. Of course, I've got Dark Man, another Sam Raimi movie. Yeah. Escape from L.A. I actually like Escape from L.A. not as much as Escape from New York, but it's got some really cheesy effects in it. Based on was it 1996 that surfboard scene. I've got Carrie, and of course The Howling, the last one. So, Nos, did you watch the top 25 on Saturday night? That was really exciting. I think you were on there earlier. I don't know if you watched the whole thing. But how did you do? Did you put in a list, and how did you do on the list? Like I said, I got 16 out of 25. So far I don't know anybody that had a better, had more movies on that list. I've asked people, did anybody have like 17 or more, and so far I haven't heard of anybody. So anybody that had more than that. So I don't know how I was able to get more than anybody, but I think some people depict a lot of their nostalgia from a lot of people that were kids back in the 90s. I turned 21 in 1994, so those are basically my late teens and early adult years. So a lot of my stuff were more Oscar worthy kind of movies, or really big box office kind of movies. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but a lot of people picked a lot of nostalgia, a lot of comedies and stuff. I didn't see a ton of comedies on the list. I did have like Office Space at one time on my top 25 when I did my list a couple years ago, and then I didn't put it on this list this time. But I still love Office Space. I think some of that movie is a little bit dated in some ways, as far as they're taking their frustration out on a fax machine. To me that makes it kind of dated, but the movie's hilarious. Wearing more flair, that kind of stuff. I was surprised. I have two, like a lot of these boutique labels. I don't really collect them per se. It just happens to be if they have a movie that I like, I'll order it from them. It's just whomever, whatever studio has, or whatever boutique labels that actually has it. But years ago, I bought Fear and Desire, the Stanley Kubrick movie, and I was surprised that in the U.S. they didn't put those two short films on it. But in England, they put like the Flying Padre, I think is one of them, and then the other one was like The Day at the Fights. They put those two special features on the British version, and you can see those on YouTube if you want, but they didn't put that on the US version. This is it's Kino, but it says Library of Congress on it. But that was like Stanley Kubrick's first movie that was lost for a number of years. And I think he didn't want it released, basically, but the fans were dying to see it. So, and I also have a movie called Stunt Rock. If you ever heard of this, this is a Kino release from last year. This is based on the band Sorcery. They used to do this like kind of like a magic show kind of thing during like a rock concert, and it's a kind of silly movie. It has a stunt man from Australia, and I can't recall his name right now, but he's the main. He's like an actor and a stunt man, and he does a lot of stunts in it. But it's comical. Really great magic show kind of thing with like wizards and demons, kind of that kind of theme. Some like was it Uriah Heep, kind of that kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of people. I think I know one person that was higher than me had like I think he had like 13, 14. I think Derek, the convicted cinephile, I think he may have had 12, I think, or 12 or 13 on there. That's the nearest one that I know that had that had close to me. I was really surprised because I was kind of I got like the first one, number 25, and then I started missing on like 24, 23, 22, and I think I got 21. I don't know if I have my list up now. Yeah, that list. Looking at Instagram here. So I got my list on there. Yeah, so like on my list, I had number 25 was Scream. That made the list. I had Clerks. I was surprised that one didn't make it. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Loved Me, or Spy Who Shagged Me. I had Speed. Everybody had that one. Jerry Maguire. That wasn't on the list. The Fisher King. It didn't make the list. I had The Big Lebowski. I did get that one. I had Wayne's World. Nobody picked that one. I had Independence Day. That was on the list. I had Titanic. That was on the list. I was surprised Good Will Hunting didn't make it on the list though, on the top 25. I had the Matrix. I had this. I don't think The Sixth Sense didn't make it. I don't believe it may have, but I had The Fugitive. I was surprised that one didn't make it. Goodfellas. I had that basically from 11. I think 11 down to number 1. I had, if you can see that or not, but I had everything from like 11 down to number 1, but you can see that. But that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do the 80s one. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, it's my favorite Terry Gilliam movie. A lot of people say Brazil. That's my second favorite. On a Saturday night, I watched the Baron Munchausen, the Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I actually like that movie. It bombed at the box office, and it sounds like the studio didn't support that movie at all. It had they only showed it like it was like in like less. It was like 48 screens originally in the U.S. and it was way over budget, and so I was kind of surprised it didn't do better. Basically, the critics really loved it, and fans that liked Terry Gilliam really loved it. But let's see. Yeah, I don't think the Sixth Sense didn't. No, I didn't. Let's see. It's the Lambs. Yeah, the Sixth Sense didn't make it. Yeah, I did see it on here. Jurassic Park was really popular. That was number 1. Terminator 2, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, Silence of the Lambs, Forrest Gump. I had that on my list. So I was really surprised. And once we got deeper down to number 1, it went quite a bit in. How's it going, Bob? How you doing? Really glad you can join me tonight. I was talking about some boutique labels here. Last time I didn't know how to flash the comments on the screen. Like all the comments that were early in that video, they were gone by the time I got to the list. So I didn't mean to leave anybody out, but I was just talking about like I've got like 3 Arrow videos. I have An American Werewolf in London. I have a Creepshow 2, and another Terry Gilliam movie, 12 Monkeys. I was surprised. I don't, like I said, I don't really collect by boutique label necessarily, except for Criterion. I do that, and I do have quite a few Screen Factory, Shout Factory movies. And I was surprised I only have one Indicator. I don't know if anybody collects Indicator at all. So I've got Body Double. So this just happened to be, I actually wanted this movie, and it come from like Australia or somewhere. To just happen to buy it. It was really cheap on Amazon. It was like I think I got it for like $10, something like that, or less, for me, somewhere in there. But I just wanted the movie because I have like a lot of Brian De Palma movies on Criterion. So yeah, American Werewolf in London. That's amazing. I don't like the sequel too much. An American Werewolf in Paris. So that was released back in the '90s. And like I say, the '90s is my decade, but for movies. But yeah, yeah, I should check out more. I mean, I like when they have their region free movies, and I think that's well, like I said, this I just happened to buy this because I wanted the movie, not because it was Indicator. But they put these in the big box sets like Arrow does. These really thick cases instead of having them in a normal Blu-ray case. It kind of takes up more room. It's just like just like Criterion. They just have those really thick cases. Yeah, it's the same kind of. I guess I could probably get them from the same place, except for Bull Dome. It's not like that, but Criterion, but it doesn't have the top part on their movies. But how many, Bob? Do you have any? Do you have any Criterions at all? Do you collect those at all? So I have like 109 altogether. And some of them are in like box sets, like the Before trilogy. Holland, do you have any Criterions at all? And I know so they're really expensive. I know they're a lot of people wait until the like a Criterion flash sale. They buy a lot through there, and they do Barnes and Noble in July and in November. That's when I get a lot of them. But if I find them used, or if they're on Amazon, I'll buy for a good price there. Yeah, yeah. You have more than me, Bob. Yeah. I don't know if have you ever done any videos, Bob, where where you've shown your collection? Because I've done one. If I do another one, I'd probably do it a lot faster than I did before. Because I like to really over edit my videos quite a bit. Yeah. But I noticed like on Amazon, you can find a lot of stuff for a reasonable price, and also Walmart as well. Buy those through there. Um, if I can find anything close to $20, I'll buy it, even if it's not on a sale. But Amazon's really great about matching. I don't know if they do the Criterion flash sale because it comes so fast, and I don't know if they match the Criterion flash sale, but they definitely match the Barnes and Noble sale that happens in July and November, just because they know they've got like 20 days or more to follow up and match. And that's and some people, if they don't have a Barnes and Noble nearby, they might just do Amazon. If they have if they have Prime, they just get stuff for free, and free shipping. They might just do it that way and just go ahead and order Criterion's through there. Is it? I say if you're supporting Criterion, it doesn't matter if you buy it through through them directly or if you buy it through Barnes and Noble, as long as you're collecting collecting those. But I really like to see if you have like you do like a tour of your Criterions, Bob. If you ever do that. But how'd you do, Bob, on the top 25? Did you get like 8 or 9, 7 or 8 on that list? Like, I've telling Tim, as far as I know, I haven't seen anybody that's had more than 16 on their list. I'd be interested in knowing, because it'd be hard for them to go through those lists with 160 lists to see who had add them up and everything. That'd be a lot of work. I know Tim and KB did a great job putting that all together. That was huge production that Tim put together, showing the videos between the old like commercials and stuff. That I thought he really worked hard on that. And Tim's a really nice guy. He communicates with me on YouTube and on through Instagram, and he and Ken, Mid-Level Media, those guys are and KB are really nice people. And I'm really lucky to meet you guys on there. And I doing that live stream last week, I suggested to Mike that he was asking me who might be good for that. I think Bob, you and Ken were you're doing the Hall of Fame show. I think that night. It just happened to be that we did it on Wednesday night. It was like the same night you were doing your video. So and Mike said he didn't really want to cross over, but there's so many live streams out there that they did a really great job. And just I don't think they ever anticipated having that many. I know that Tim wanted to get at least 100 lists, and he got 160. So if he does an '80s one, I think he'll get even more people because it. I know some people that did the top 25. They were doing like I saw one guy that's like I think he was like close to like late '70s, and he did a list, and he said he didn't follow movies a lot in the '90s, but it just if you get something from the '80s, you're gonna get a wide range of people that watch that love '80s movies and that were young adults at that time. You know, you're going to get a huge range. I think you'll get even more than 160 list. You know, with the '80s, I think I like the '80s and '90s and '70s. I think those 3 decades are really big. I don't know if I like more movies from the '80s than I do from the '90s or which one. I think maybe the '80s might be the most as far as movies that I own. I actually put all my movies together alphabetically, except I don't do that. I don't do that with my Criterion. I do Criterion through alphabetical, just because I don't know, Bob, if you put your movies in through spine number, like a lot of people do it through spine number. I don't do it like that. I do everything alphabetical. I don't do it by genre either. Some people there's some movies, especially in the '90s, a lot of movies. It was hard to put movies in a genre because they started crossing over a lot in the '90s. That was a big deal at that time to kind of have horror and thriller, and so it was hard to categorize movies. That was a big deal to kind of get away from having linear kind of filmmaking. They had to do them. '80s horror. '80s horror is great. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely the slasher era of horror. That's no, I was 10 in 1983, so for me, that was definitely a decade to get pure, slasher films like Jason and the Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy, and everything. Yeah, to me, that's I know there was a guy. There was one video I saw, and he seems like a really nice guy, and he's got like his basement set up with all tons of movies, lots of duplicates, and he just kind of seems to just collect just to collect. And he had his criterions laid out, and he said I have spine numbers 1 through 120 set up, and like for me, I don't buy DVD anymore through Criterion, so I do have 3. I think I showed that last time. I do have 3 here. I have Chasing Amy, spine number 75. When I was upgrading all my Criterions last summer, I got down to 3 that I couldn't upgrade because they've never been put on Blu-ray. There's this movie called Louie Bluey. I was talking about Terry Zwigoff. Let's see. Terry Zwigoff, he's got the movie Crumb here. Crumb, and he also has Ghost World. But Louie Bluey was like his first movie. It was a documentary, just like Crumb was his second documentary. But Louie Bluey's about he's like a blues, like a jazz musician, and he played a lot in Chicago and like Michigan, like Detroit and Chicago back in the '80s. And this movie is about his life, and I think he lived to be like 93 or 94. But this is Terry Zwigoff's first movie, and it's never been released. This one's still available. It's out of the 3. The Life of Brian is my other Criterion DVD, and those first 2 are not available anymore. But this one you can still buy through the Criterion website and through Amazon. So for some reason they still produce DVDs, but they've never upgraded this to Blu-ray. But there are so many Criterions that have never been put on Blu-ray, so you have to buy them on DVD. And for me, I don't, even if I see DVDs used, I won't buy them anymore. Like, because if it's not on Blu-ray, I won't buy it. So for this one, Louie Bluey, and he also had, like I said, the movie Ghost World. So I've got Criterion's here, and I have them some over here. If you can see that or not, but yeah, you can see it. But Ghost World's the other one. Here it is. So for me, it's like someone that says they have them by spine number, and he has 1 through 120. He's like, so I think this guy is such an extreme kind of collector that he probably will try to fill in every gap. And there's just some criterions I probably won't ever buy, just just because they're either on DVD or they're like War and Peace. I don't see myself ever buying that and watching it. It's like what 10 hours long. Um, just some I probably won't. I'm trying to get more into like foreign films this summer, but I can't see myself getting a huge amount of foreign films. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm planning on buying a 4K TV eventually. I do have a 4K player now, so I can watch those. But I'm still I'm still waiting for this TV to die. I don't know where I would put this TV if I took it down off a wall. It's hanging on the wall here, um, to my right here, but I don't know where to put it. Basically, I don't have a stand. I don't have any other I don't have other TVs mounted on the wall, so I don't know where I could take this down and put a 4K TV up. But I do buy a lot of 4K like movies. Like I said, Army of Darkness. I have the 4K for that. So I'm kind of anticipating when my TV does die, I'm going to buy a 4K TV, and yeah. For me, I don't keep a ton. See, for me, I do blind buy through Criterion just because I wait for if I get like a lot of recommendations for a movie. Usually, movies I buy on Criterion or I usually research them really well. I mean, they're movies that everyone's recommended. And usually, like if I like the director, like bought Inland Empire. Recently bought that from David Lynch. A lot of people bought that on the flash sale. Um, Basically, on that, I have everything else from David Lynch, and so I had to buy it. But a lot of blind buys I don't do. One thing, I see a lot of movies in the theater, so a lot of times I know that a lot of movies I see, I don't think it would be worth buying on Blu-ray. And I'm not the completionist that I used to be either. I don't buy like Marvel movies, a lot of them basically because they make so many of those. Um, I think I credit Disney and Marvel for kind of getting me out of that mentality where I have to buy everything. I still buy some Marvel movies if I really like it, like Spider-Man: No Way Home, even though it's a Sony release. I did buy Doctor Strange um, last year, the Multiverse of Madness. It's because I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan. I do buy steelbooks, yeah. I do buy steelbooks. Not like some people. Some people have to buy steelbooks day one. I know that usually they're limited, like especially like Best Buy. Steelbooks are really limited. Um, but I do have quite a few steelbooks. But it's not like a priority. And like some people they have to buy three versions of a movie, one steelbook, one with a slip cover. I just don't have the room to do that, to have that big of a collection. And if you have that much room, like Tony, a basement blues, he's got a huge collection there and a lot of space to put those in. But even Tony says that he doesn't keep all the movies that he owns, that he's purchased. He puts them on like eBay or puts them to sells them if he doesn't like the movie. I really admire that, just that he does buy so much, but he only keeps what he really wants. He doesn't keep everything, because he just doesn't have the room for it. And he talks about how his last live stream, one of his live streams where he when he passes away, he doesn't want to leave all these. He wants to have stuff like in the wrapping where his family could sell them. If they needed to. He said his wife definitely isn't going to keep his collections. It's kind of morbid in some ways, but they've got to go somewhere. If his kids don't want them and his wife doesn't want them, then he's got to. I think Tony's going to have a big estate sale someday. If he does get rid of his stuff, right? Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of something unless I watched it first. Yeah, definitely, Bob. Oh, this is Tony. Hey, this is Tony. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to Bob. Yeah, yeah, Tony. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I definitely. Some people I know they get so many movies that they can't watch them all. They just I think I saw somebody like today. He's got like 800 movies that still hasn't watched because he just collects so many. I don't do that. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was. I'm sorry, Bob and Tony. I thought I was talking to Bob. And, yeah, I think I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really. I can once I have it up on screen. I was looking at the logo. Yeah, yeah. Tony is a king. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I heard you talking about that Tony, about your wife doesn't want your collection. So yeah, you can have a huge estate sale someday if people are definitely going to come to your house and looking to buy everything. You answer for Bob too. You guys have that you have like a crew together, right? You and Ken, Middle Media. Yeah, yeah. You have like a big crew. Are you doing like that? It's like a monthly thing where you do like a video together. I think it's a everybody kind of gets their own kind of group together and just kind of hangs together like the Three Amigos kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. I was showing some of these. I'm surprised I don't have more Screen Factory than I do. These I didn't buy these because they're Screen Factory. I bought them because I wanted the movies. Yeah, yeah. But you got to keep kind of cycling them out a little bit. Yeah, yeah. That's a mid level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's you got to cycle them out. It's like I did that recently. Like when I put my movies in alphabetical order, I I had started going through stuff that I like didn't want, and I've noticed that some of the DVDs I've upgraded. I've had some DVDs I hadn't watched in years, and there was one day I saw Wedding Crashers on Blu-ray. I had it on DVD, and I kind of thought about, do I really want to upgrade this? And if I don't want to upgrade this to Blu-ray, do I really want to keep the DVD? There's some like movies from like the 2000s that I liked at the time. I hadn't watched in a number of years. Like it's like, why am I keeping this? It's just taking up room for something I'm not going to watch. So I ended up getting rid of the DVD. I didn't buy it on Blu-ray, and I ended up getting rid of the DVD. So I like that. I like like old school. I really like that movie back in the 2000s, and I hadn't watched it in a number of years. Um, it's just kind of like college kind of humor that I'm not really into as much as I used to. But if I see those movies streaming, I'd probably watch them again. But it's just like, why am I keeping these if I'm never going to watch these again? So, um, I don't know if, yeah, right. I I just have DVDs over here now, and a few down here, uh, down on the last row here. I'm finally starting to cycle those out. But I've upgraded a lot of my DVDs recently. I bought like Annie Hall. I'll probably talk about this in my April end of April review. But I did like Annie Hall, and I did the French Connection. I had that on DVD, and I hadn't watched it in years just because it was on DVD. I just didn't watch it. Movie director. Wow, I like John Carpenter a lot. I don't know if I really have a favorite. Steven Spielberg, Brian De Palma, huge fan of him. I like a lot of stuff from Richard Linklater, but he's made a lot of bad movies too. He's made a lot of movies that were just there, I think, just to kind of get a paycheck in some ways. But Richard Linklater, Where'd You Go, Bernadette was one movie that with Kate Blanchett that I thought was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it's not one of his best. And he did it. I think one of his more recent movies was like Last Flag Flying, I think it's called, which is not a bad movie, but it's got Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Carell. and the guy from Breaking Bad, Brian. I forget Brian's last name, but it's not a bad movie. It's not extremely rewatchable. I just bought it because it was a Richard Linklater movie, and because I had everything else from Richard Linklater. I think the Coen brothers are that combination. I think I like more of their movies overall. Um, Favorite actor, actress, man, I like Harrison Ford's really great. Gene Hackman. I don't know if I have a favorite, but some of those guys from the like '70s that are kind of retired now, like Jack Nicholson, great actors. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. I don't know if I have a really favorite necessarily, but actresses. Um, I don't know. Kate Blanchett's really great now. Kate Winslet is really great. Um, just some young actresses, like Florence Pugh's not bad. Um, some of the newer, Meryl Streep, I guess, she's had some good stuff. Not so good stuff too, but any more actresses I really like. Sigourney Weaver at one time, she was great back in the Alien movies. Um, I don't know. Let me. Who are some of your favorite actors and actresses? Let me ask you that. Just give me a few, like maybe '70s, '80s, '90s. So many great actors. Like I said, Al Pacino's really great, and Robert De Niro. Love mafia movies, so those guys are really big in those. Yeah, yeah, I definitely like horror movies. Yeah, for sure. Um, I was showing, you may have seen this, but like The Howling. I was talking about my Scream Factory collection. Carrie, I guess Escape from L.A. is not a horror movie, but it's part of the Scream Factory line. Dark Man, sort of like horror. Creep Show. I saw my Manhunter earlier. That's not really horror, but it's part of the Hannibal Lecter kind of crew. Misery. Really weird movie. Phantom of the Paradise with Brian De Palma. The Fog. They Live's not really horror, but John Carpenter movie. Of course, I have original Halloween. This is really cool. I live in Indianapolis, so Jamie Lee Curtis came to Indianapolis and did a signing. If you ever watched that featurette on this particular Halloween edition, she came in. I don't think she's done another convention since then, but I've heard that she might be doing something. But she did this one just for charity at the time, and she basically wouldn't leave. It was like a Sunday, and she wouldn't leave until she signed every autograph and talked to every fan. Thought, wow, that's it. Legendary 70s, 80s, and yeah, definitely '70s, '80s are definitely the prime period there. But I love the '90s too. That's why I did so well, and I guess I'm a top 25 because I've seen that was like kind of a peak time when I was a young adult, starting getting to more serious movies, and I guess that's why I that was kind of my decade. That's why I guess I did fairly well in that. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I was just talking on our last week about I was doing the live stream with at Mega Mike's, Mega Mike the Movie Man, talking about our favorite Oscar movies, and I had mentioned Million Dollar Baby. That's really sad kind of movie with the you know Hilary Swank and Morgan Freeman. That's amazing how sad that movie is at the end there. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah, definitely Kurt Russell. Escape from L.A. Some people don't like this movie, but I like Escape from New York more. But yeah, definitely like Escape from L.A. Just that surfboard scene, the really bad special effects there was really kind of takes a movie down a little bit. But this movie's definitely more comical and more more I guess up to date than Escape from New York was, but and it's got a great soundtrack to it though. I definitely love that. The soundtrack is probably my favorite part of the movie. Um, yeah, Gene Hackman, yeah, Paul Newman. Paul Newman. I love the movie The Towering Inferno. If you know, and Steve McQueen is from he was from Beech Grove, Indiana, which is part of Indianapolis, and he and Paul Newman met on the set of The Towering Inferno, and they became, I guess they were kind of rivals during that movie. There was some talk about who was going to get, as far as the top billing. And they ended up settling on Paul Newman getting his name above, and they were both on the screen at the same time. Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, but they met on that movie and they became really close friends. And Paul Newman brought Steve McQueen to the Indy 500 and got Steve McQueen got Paul Newman into that into auto racing, and even after McQueen died in 1980, and even after that, Paul Newman became like a car sponsor, and came to the Indy 500 every year. Really really great. So Paul Newman's really great. Like the movie Slapshot, he's in that. Really great in the movie. Cool Hand Luke, I think, just got a 4K release. That's a great movie too. Paul Newman's amazing there. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank Tony. Yeah, tell Bob I confused you with him. I think you both have a similar kind of logo. I can't think of what how Bob's looks, but yeah, definitely Tony. Thank you. Have a good evening there. Thank you. Quintana, yeah, definitely like Pulp Fiction. Um, Definitely like Reservoir Dogs. A lot of the earlier stuff. I like a Kill Bill. I like Kill Bill Volume One. I like Volume One a little bit more than two. Have, that up here. Here. Helps when you put these in order. You actually find them. Kill Bill movies. I like Jackie Brown a lot. I really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Really love that. It's probably my second favorite. Pulp Fiction's number one, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's number two on my list. But yeah, it's more recently. I don't know. I do like Inglorious Bastards a lot, and The Hateful Eight. I don't think it really are any that I really hate. Even Death Proof, I don't hate that movie, but it's not his best. So, but Tarantino, I think what he said is his last movie is the next one he does will be the last one he ever does. I guess they consider that to be his 10th film, even though because they consider Kill Bill 1 and 2 to be one film, even though it's two volumes. But like I said, I like Volume 1 more than the second one, but I do like the ending to Kill Bill Volume 2. But I think the action's a lot better in the first one. Released 2 years apart, but yeah. Yeah, I like Tarantino a lot, but Pulp Fiction, really hard to beat, in my opinion. But yeah, favorite John Carpenter movies. Love Escape from New York. I like The Fog. A lot of the earlier stuff. Halloween, of course. Um, uh, Precinct 13. Love The Thing. Obviously, The Thing. I guess The Thing. You could say Halloween or The Thing could be two of my favorites, and Escape from New York. I love Big Trouble in Little China. Love that movie. And the Prince of Darkness has really grown on me over the years. Back in the day, I didn't love that movie. Just the movie is really way too long compared to a lot of other Carpenter movies. That one was way longer. I think it's like over 100 minutes long, or right around 100 minutes. And up to that time, a lot of his movies were like about 90 minutes. He was really great at having shorter horror action movies like that, and then all of a sudden I think the beginning of Prince of Darkness is like it takes like 13 minutes to get through the credits, So that movie is definitely way longer than some of his others, but that movie's really grown on me. With Alice Cooper is in a couple of 2 or 3 scenes in that movie. Yeah, it's definitely those. Yeah, definitely late 70s, early 80s, or late 70s, mid 80s. Definitely that time period is definitely some of my favorite Carpenter movies. Um, to wrap up, yeah, yeah, it's still really good. It's just I thought the action in Volume One was way better because she was kind of meeting up with the other people in that crew, and they had I thought just the action was better. She goes to Japan and takes on that whole that whole thing. And I think it's some people said that's kind of an homage to some Asian cinema and stuff that I took. That's the kind of stuff I really want to get into this summer. Watching more Criterion. Throne of Blood. I haven't seen that movie yet, but I love like Seven Samurai. I definitely want to get into a lot more of that stuff this summer. Definitely the July Barnes and Noble sale. I'm going to get more Asian cinema during that time. So I just need to learn a lot more about that stuff. Yeah, see, I don't pick up as much as some people. I do like movies I really like. Like I said, I see a lot of movies in the theaters. So as far as newer movies, I like just released in the theater. A lot of them I see them, and it used to be like I'd watch a movie and I'd say I'm definitely going to buy this, or if I had a collection of movies from the same director, I would didn't matter if I really liked the movie, I might just buy it. Like Terminator Dark Fate kind of got me out of the habit of buying a lot of the Terminator movies, because I still love the first two Terminator movies for sure, the James Cameron ones, those, but then they kind of dropped off a little bit after that. Even though I love the ending to part three, the third one. Definitely like the ending to that. It's really dark kind of ending that was kind of to be expected. But yeah, I don't buy as much. Don't just buy a lot of stuff like I've looked recently, like today I looked at a lot of upcoming Blu-rays and DVDs or Blu-rays and 4Ks, and I was like, I don't know what I would buy here. I do buy a lot of when they re-release a lot of stuff on 4K, what classic movies I love. I'll upgrade those movies to the better version, but I don't buy as much. I'm still waiting for another one, digital code, so I can give those give at least two digital codes away. I've got one right now for a man called Otto. I'd like to get another one so I can do another giveaway. I'd like to have at least two. So I'm waiting for something that's going to have yeah, Lady Snowblood. Yeah, that one's on my list. Um, Definitely want to get that one. I've got like a long. I don't know if you can see it here, but I have a list of criterions that I want to get. And I keep adding to my list all the time. Can't really see it so much, but it's kind of my list right now. I've got like Hollywood Shuffle, the Red Shoes. I really like to get that one. Devil in a Blue Dress, the Velvet Underground. There's one about the band that I've heard Cinema Dave talk about. Tr- yeah, when we were kings, the Muhammad Ali documentary. I want to get that. A Night to Remember about the Titanic. Brood. I'd like to get David Cronenberg movie. Naked Lunch, another Cronenberg. Daddy Longlegs. I've heard people talk about that one. Some Like It Hot. Summertime. I want to get House, the Japanese horror movie. I wanted to get that one for a long time. Like I said, Throne of Blood, all that jazz. I've seen Sound of Metal, but I want to get that one eventually. Hoop Dreams, the basketball documentary. I've heard. I don't know if you ever, if you Holland, if you own Walker, from Cronenberg. Yeah, what's more? Yeah, I've got Crash. I've got I've got Crash. That was the most recent one I bought from Cronenberg, but would definitely like to get like I said, Brood and Naked Lunch. Yeah, see, I was talking about this earlier with the only two kinos that I have. Let's see. I've been showing everything on the screen, but yeah, Cronenberg, Crash, I could talk about that. That one I have now, but I definitely want to get Brood and Naked Lunch. Yeah, as far as Kino, these these are really just by chance. Really, I bought Fear and Desire years ago, and it just happens to be it was a Kino. It was a Stanley Kubrick movie that was kind of lost. Um, this is a U.S. version. I think the one in England had like was it like the red case or was something like that. And it had those two short films from Stanley Kubrick, the Flying Padre and also the Day at the Fight, was it Day at the Fights or whatever. But the U.S. version didn't have those on there. You can see those if you check YouTube. You can see those really short films that he had really early in his career. But I have that. And there's a movie called Stunt Rock as well. This was released last year. This is a movie I had it on DVD, and I really wanted to get it just because on Blu-ray, and it looks a lot better than the DVD version. But there's like one scene where they have like a thin line like going through the video. I'm kind of surprised they weren't able to fix that, but just a little blip in the film. I buy a ton of as far as Arrow. I was going to mention that. Let's see, Arrow. I was surprised I don't have more Arrow, but yeah, I do have American Werewolf in London. Let's see, I had like 3 altogether. Put them away here. I think I have 12 Monkeys on Arrow and Creepshow 2. Yeah, I just happened to be, I actually just wanted those movies. It wasn't because I necessarily wanted to get them because they're Arrow, but love American Werewolf in London. It's one of my favorite horror movies. The John Landis, yeah. But it just happened to be the Arrow just happened to release these, and I think this one's been released on 4K now. This is the Blu-ray edition. I don't know if I'll upgrade it to 4K or not, but maybe if I get a 4K TV, I'll want to upgrade some of these from Blu-ray to 4K. But as right now, the Blu-ray looks fine to me. But a lot of people love the sound and picture quality from 4K, and like I said, once I get a 4K TV, that my thoughts might change. I might want to upgrade stuff. But Screen Factory, I've got quite a few. Screen Factory and Shout Factory. We've got King Kong. Love this 1976 movie. Yeah, that one. Army of Darkness. We've got quite a few. Screen Factory. Original Creepshow. Dark Man. Misery. Let's see, I was talking about Manhunter earlier. Some people like this. I thought Hannibal Lecter, I thought was kind of non-threatening a little bit in the movie, not compared to Anthony Hopkins, but Phantom of the Paradise, Where They Live. Let's see, The Fog. Original Carrie. Love that one. Brian De Palma. The Howling. Escape from LA. Yeah. I only have 2 Shout Factory movies. Have you ever seen Crime Wave? And it's a Sam Raimi movie and UHF. Those. Yeah. Yeah, one of the used movies. Like Misery was used. That one. Yeah, I just happened to go to a used place. This is like $5. Screen Factory, $5 with the slipcover, different underneath, and has a reversible artwork. I think that's the original But for $5, I had never actually owned Misery before. It's got the same as the slipcover, but I like the classic poster. I thought, wow, for $5, I'm surprised I didn't own that movie already. But when I saw it for that cheaper price, I definitely definitely had to buy it that day. So that was really great. But yeah, what do you have any of these Scream Factory releases? About $5. I gotta buy that today, and that was like a couple Saturdays ago. Yeah. Yeah, I know some people that they buy like anything Scream Factory, anything Arrow, Indicator. I think Vinegar Syndrome was the big one. I don't own anything from Vinegar Syndrome, surprisingly. I don't know if any of you collect Vinegar Syndrome, but I've never heard anybody actually say that they really loved anything that they bought from them. They seem to like that a lot of kind of B movies and that kind of stuff. And first time watches. I watched True Stories, the David Byrne movie that was released 1986. I years ago, I always knew that Talking Heads video for Wild Wild Life, but I didn't realize that was just taken straight out of the movie. It seems kind of be out of place a little bit in that movie. It's like this is the video. Basically, it's the videos being played out in this movie. It's David Byrne. I think might be the only movie, at least at the time, the only thing he directed. It's got John Goodman in it. I thought it was really good, but it was pretty good. I don't know if I'd recommend it to everybody if you're not a fan of the Talking Heads, but if I've got it back here, I've got all my Criterions here that I haven't put in order. Let's see. Getting everything out. Here it is. True Stories. Shot Goodman on the cover. Yeah, Give Me Shelter. This is the first time I'd ever seen this one. This was a blind buy for Criterion. Rolling Stones about the Altamont disaster. It has a 7 seal. This is one that's definitely got me inspired to get more foreign films because I really like this movie quite a bit. It's Ingmar Bergman, definitely that box set. You can get this in there, but this one's getting a 4K release on April 18th. Like that one a lot. Of course, the Before trilogy, Richard Linklater. I used to own those on DVD with, Citizen Kane. A lot of these I've seen. These aren't first time watches, but Do the Right Thing. This one was fairly recent. Charade. I'd never seen this one before. Really like this one. It's got kind of like an early '60s Bond kind of look to it. Yeah, I'd never seen Menace to Society when I bought this. I thought I had this released in the '90s. Yeah, this one was new. A Face in the Crowd. This is Andy Griffith from the TV show. It was basically about media and people that kind of use the media to their advantage into stardom, that kind of thing. I don't know what else I've seen recently that was new. Anything else I've seen recently that I purchased on physical media that was brand new? Like it. Charade. Yeah. Cary Grant. Yeah. I'd recommend it I'm surprised that the Blu-ray really doesn't have a lot of special features on it, but it does have a commentary on it, I believe. But it's It's worth a watch if you like those like Sean Connery era of James Bond movies. It definitely has that kind of look. But Maurice Bender, actually, the guy that did the titles for a lot of the '60s and I think '70s Bond movies. I think he did a lot of '60s. He did the titles for Charade. That's why it definitely has a James Bond kind of look to it. So yeah, I'd recommend it for sure. I think I might say I think I've been on for about an hour now, but yeah, it's been great talking to you and Tony. Um, Holland, I've seen you on a lot of different live streams and stuff. You know, especially with Tony and Bob, and yeah, it's great to know those guys that they were really really nice. I hope to do like live streams with them sometime in the near future. But and Tim and Tim Talks Talkies and Ken are really nice people, and it's part of the reason why I love doing YouTube, just meeting different people with different channels. And um, Tim said he thought my video of the top 25 from the '90s was really great, and he didn't compliment everybody on their videos, but just giving me that kind of encouragement, and what he does on Instagram and through YouTube when I comment on videos that he's done, just the positive feedback I've gotten from Tim has helped me a lot, and definitely kind of inspires me to kind of keep my channel going. Yeah, yeah, they're definitely really nice. So yeah, and Mike too. Mike is Mega Mike. He's had me on 3 times on his channel for live streams, and you know that was great. That's why I recommended the two Derek's, Pure Hangout and Convicted Cinephile, to be on the live stream we did last week for the Oscar winners, and they delivered all the way. Just their humor made it so much fun. Really glad that I kind of suggested those two guys to appear in the video. But Holland, I'm going to wrap up for the night, and I'm losing my voice now. I'm trying to drink water and stay in here, but hope to talk to you again. I don't know when I'm going to do the live stream, but I definitely need to get a video out there here shortly. I just want to kind of talk to everybody and talk about these boutique how other people felt about these. So appreciate it, Holland. Dude. Thank you. Thank you guys. Have a good night there. Thank you. Bye. And I'm gonna end broadcast.